Now let's bring in Benedict Rogers, co-founder and chief executive of the UK-based NGO Hong Kong Watch. Benedict, what does it mean for Hong Kong that Apple Daily is closing?
It means essentially, as some people said in that clip just now, the death of media freedom. I mean, the Apple Daily was the only remaining mass circulation daily Chinese language pro-democracy newspaper. And I think this is a warning shot. I think we'll see a chill factor for the other smaller online pro-democracy and independent news outlets.
So what do you make of the accusations lodged against the paper?
Well, frankly, they are absurd, and they illustrate both the ridiculousness but also the danger of the national security law, extremely draconian law that was introduced almost exactly a year ago, imposed on Hong Kong by the Chinese Communist Party regime in Beijing, which basically destroys Hong Kong's freedoms. And the problem with this law is that it's so vaguely defined and so widely applied. So the newspaper's been accused of colluding with foreign forces, particularly in advocating sanctions. And the editor and some of his executives have been arrested before the paper's closure. And those charges are basically amount to the newspaper having foreign contributors, talking to foreign experts and journalists and politicians. And one of the worrying things about these charges is I think it's highly likely that it's being applied retrospectively. I think it may relate to articles in the newspaper that were published before the national security law was even in place, and that's very alarming.
So how can journalists now working in Hong Kong do their job without getting arrested? I mean, is there such a thing as a free press anymore?
Essentially, very little. I mean, there are some very brave outlets remaining online, and of course there are foreign correspondents. So there is a remaining vestige of brave independent journalism, but I worry that it's only a matter of time, particularly for those domestic outlets, that they will find it increasingly difficult to continue. And even for foreign correspondents, the whole trajectory of the situation in Hong Kong over the last year or two has been moving in the direction of turning Hong Kong into just another city of China under the Chinese Communist Party's total control, in flagrant violation of an international agreement that was supposed to protect Hong Kong's autonomy. And if you look at the way foreign correspondents are treated in mainland China, it's increasingly dangerous for them. So I think the outlook for journalists, domestic and foreign, in Hong Kong is increasingly bleak.
Benedict Rogers from the NGO Hong Kong Watch, thank you so much for your time here on Euronews tonight.